The year was 1911 when the doors first opened on a sprawling compound consisting of 130 buildings spread over 2,000 acres. A state-of-the-art facility located in Rockland County, New York, known as Letchworth Village, began as a premier institution for the physically and mentally disabled. The promising venture was the brainchild of William Letchworth, a businessman who had a vision to modernize the care of disabled children. The facility had housing for patients and staff, a working farm, and employed thousands of local residents. It had a community within a community atmosphere. Superintendent Dr. Charles Little and his clinical staff studied mental retardation, offering clinics to physicians throughout the country that were funded both privately and through New York State. But like the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Over the next 2 decades, the patients of Letchworth would be left unclothed, unbathed, and neglected. Both patients and workers would become victims of rape. Children were malnourished, sick, and often subjects of testing. The first polio vaccine was tested on an 8-year-old boy in the facility. Dr. Little categorized patients into groups. One group was called morons, another imbeciles, and yet another would be discouraged from entering the gates of Letchworth. They were called idiots and were deemed too disabled to be trained. The reality was that Dr. Little found them unable to benefit the state. They couldn't do various jobs like loading coal, building roads, or farming acres of land. Many children were capable of learning, but were never given an opportunity. Still, families continued to abandon their children at the village. The more patients that arrived, the more funding Letchworth would need. But the state disagreed. The facility was designed to house 3,000 residents, but by the 1950s it had over 4,000. 70 beds would be crammed into each dormitory. The staff claimed there was a lack of food, water, and necessary supplies. Irving Aberman, a professional photographer, would be the first one to expose these horrific conditions. In the 1940s, Aberman released a set of photographs that revealed the truth behind Letchworth's walls. Patients were found naked and crowded in filthy buildings. Although these photos caught the public's eye, Letchworth would continue its downward spiral of patient neglect for more than 50 years. In 1972, American journalist Geraldo Rivera exposed the dangers of Letchworth in his documentary, Willowbrook, The Last Great Disgrace. He showed up unannounced to the village with a full camera crew. His documentary included other asylums and did lead to reform of disability services throughout the United States. However, those residing at Letchworth at the time did not receive the immediate help they needed.
What we need is a new approach. We have to change the way we care for our mentally retarded. We ask for change, we demand change.
After more public pressure, funds were raised and efforts to reduce overcrowding were underway. Community-based options began to open up, decreasing the population at Letchworth. One by one, buildings began to close down. Patients were moved to newer facilities, and the doors of Letchworth were permanently closed in 1996. Today, walking among the ruins, you can almost hear the cries of the tortured souls of the past. It has become a playground of folklore and a visual scar of local history. And far down the road, in a clearing in the forest, lies the final resting place of discarded men, women, and children. Marked by T-shaped steel, with a number for a name, lie the unclaimed. Those who shall not be forgotten. The people of this Letchworth Village of the Damned.